ECB day. Thanks, Blake. Everyone ready for it? How you, Mike, Ingmar, Steve? I'm going to get to the guys quickly. Alexander, Kay's here, Giannis, Ryan, whole crew. What's funny, buddy? Good morning. Good morning, James, AJ, Kurt, Paul, John Hawkins, everybody. So I'm going to just turn it over to the guys here and have them prep you. I could ask a couple questions. Let's start with Ryan. So Ryan,
Morning, sir.
what are you thinking here going into this ECB meeting? Euro's kind of we're going to pop to new highs here. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, we're treading water a bit here at the moment. Obviously, the ECB decision.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
You can't hear us. Hold on.
Who can't hear you?
Hello.
Hear you. You can't.
I can hear everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Ryan.
I can't hear you. Huh?
Oh, you can't hear me. Who can't hear me?
There was a little volume thing on here before now, and I just turned it off. So it was a new feature. I don't know how to be able to hear you guys now.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So why don't you guys just take it away? I'll try and figure it out.
All right. Okay. Well, Dale can't hear us. Everyone else can hear us. So yeah, Dale's going to go and sort his sound out.
Wait, Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, it's Dale. What a shit show. Here, I'll take over. I'm gonna take over.
I got it now.
Oh, you got it. Okay, all right, Dale, you can hear us.
Yeah, I got you. So, but take it anyway if you want, bro.
No, that's fine. You were talking. I just want to make sure that we can have a conversation. Okay, I'm going to leave it as it is. Go ahead.
Gosh, bring me back Quotron machines. Anyone remember those?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, they were green numbers, and you had to go into an office. You couldn't do anything portable.
Mine was shared in a quarter, so we'd have to spin the stupid thing around between four of us.
Oh yeah, we had bullpens without the bulls. We had people in the bullpen, so the old days, kind of like go back to the movie Wall Street. Remember what the ancient days were like. So Ryan, I'll start with you, bro.
Yes, mate.
1428. We're a little bit under the prior high. We can take that out.
Yeah, it's possible. We're expecting a cut from the ECB. Yeah. That's not up for discussion. We get the forecast out, so really that's probably going to be the most important aspect to the meeting: how bearish they see the economy, or how much softer they see inflation, because that's going to guide what the market thinks they're going to do with rates moving forward. There's a possibility that they indicate in some way that there's going to be a pause, or they're at a point where they're just going to slow up and assess the situation. And then we'll have to watch the data thereafter to see if the data matches up with their expectations. But yeah, we've been talking about this on the flow show. Obviously, I've got my big level at 115. We're pretty close to it. Can we get through it? What were we, 73 pips away? We're not out of range. But will there be enough in it? I think more likely you're going to see any dips in euro dollar getting bought up, because we're still maintaining probably anywhere 1400, 1350 down to 1300 if we get something as big as that. But I don't think we will, because if you look at the wider picture, this uptrend since the start of the year is very, very strong, and I doubt it's going to turn on one ECB meeting. But yeah, we could get a nudge up to that 115, but then we got the NFP tomorrow, and that could be a maker or breaker for that level.
I also read that there was input from the Fed talking about becoming cautious on the economy, uncertain on the economy, kind of like opening the door to being dovish and starting QE again. It's the first time I've heard them like worry about the economy. Did you guys see that statement that came from the Fed?
No, when was that?
Yesterday. I saw it on BBC News. The Fed being cautious about the economy now, saying that there were signs. A beige book? Was it beige book?
Oh, it might have been the beige book.
That was the beige book. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
When was that? When was the beige book?
Yesterday at like 11 or something.
Okay. All right. So, that's new, isn't it?
No, I mean, if you haven't got uncertainty written 50 times in your communications, then you're a bit behind the times or behind the curve, because every bank is uncertain. I mean, look at the Bank of Canada yesterday. They're not running a central forecast. They're running two possible scenarios, which they think they're right in the middle of at the moment. And they said yesterday we might be able to get back to running a central scenario in July. Until then, uncertainty rules.
Okay, so the 10-year kind of gave up the ghost, didn't it? As long as we stay back under 440, 445, then this kind of looked like a little head and shoulders. You could use this as a neckline. 440. What do you think? Complex right shoulder. Hunchback of Notre Dame. Here's the hunch. Anyway, yields, starting to cooperate. I think they're headed down at least 420 now. So should give FX a lift.
Well,
right?
It depends whether it's US risk off again. What's going to take us down to 4%? That'll probably be a really crappy NFP tomorrow, and we'll probably be trading 4% in a flash, because then the market's going to be going cuts. Here come the cuts, and then that's probably a big leg lower in yields. But what does it do for stocks? Do stocks go up on the faster easing, or do they go down because here comes the economic pain that we've all been waiting for?
Yeah, they haven't been able to take out this high yet. I've been waiting for many candles for them to do it.
That 6K level was fairly decent on the way up before we hit the 6,100 highs. And I've been speaking about this in our room and elsewhere. If this is one of those moments, if it can't get through that 6K level anytime soon, then buyers might start to throw in the towel, and we see a steeper pullback.
Okay. Any comments on anything else besides euro that you're getting a little bounce in US dollar yen? Are you looking to reestablish shorts somewhere?
Yeah, potentially, but I'm going to stick to my levels. That's the 145, and then up towards that 146 again. I think the range is pretty easy. 142 on the bottom, 141.70. That's your range, and we seem to be happy to ping pong in that at the moment. So I won't do anything in the middle here.
Okay. Gold silver ratio, I was pounding the table on this for a long time, well over 100. So now you only get 94 pieces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. So, already it's a gain if you made the exchange. This, I think, it's just starting. 92 is a big level. Under 92, I think we could really accelerate on this gold silver ratio. Showing up today big time, the silver up almost 4% and gold up 0.7%. So it's the first time we've seen gold kind of lag like this. You would have thought with a move like this in silver, gold would have already been at I'm not saying it's not going there.
But have a look at the others, mate. Have a look at the platinums, palladiums, all that stuff.
Yeah, that broke out a long time ago. The breakout was right here.
Yeah, we've got China messing around with all this rare earth stuff, and that's getting a lot of people, particularly in the autos industry, hot under the collar. US.
Yeah, I heard they had to a GM plant had to shut down because they don't have the materials.
Yeah, well, the Vehicle Supply Association, or whatever it's called in the US, is moaning about it. Japan Suzuki Motors, they've stopped production of one of their models because they're lacking it. Everyone's worried about it. This is the stick, I think, that China's using at the moment.
Yeah, And also, I think we need them for our F-15s. So
Need it for everything,
militarily
mate.
too. Everything.
Everything.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ryan. Kay, I thought you left town yesterday.
No. I
You
said
get,
good morning, Dale. Good morning.
okay. So what are you thinking before ECB?
I think they are going for a cut and potentially going on pause for a bit. Perhaps they won't say it in as many words, but I think they are going on pause. And I guess the market is trading roughly similar because you otherwise, if it would have been a potential of a very dovish cut, the market wouldn't have been here in the euro dollar. So yeah, I'm going for the cut and pause for the time being, and I'm not sure that we can tackle 115. I think we'll have to look at the combination of ECB and US jobs tomorrow to get that if the US jobs come in weaker.
Okay, so really tomorrow's the key day. It's
I'm
more
quite happy.
important than the ECB.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with those metals moves, especially silver. That's nice.
Yeah, huge move.
Yeah, it's good. I'm looking to let last piece of add-ons go around that 36 level and then keep my call long and see where we can end up. I know there's targets here, but if you look on the weekly in silver, that break above 35 is big. Is the 61.8 of the whole move lower from 2011 to 2020.
Yeah, I saw a post by Greg. I think he was looking for his 37.
Yeah, but I'm looking if this 35 holds, I'm looking for 41.
Okay. Let me just see something
So
here.
yeah, you have to go even longer. It's the whole 2011, 2012 to 2020.
Well, look at this line up here. Now, I probably drew it years ago, or months ago, because you could
Yeah, that
see
one.
what the.
Okay.
So 38.30.
Yeah, I'll be happy if it goes there.
Yeah. Kind of a megaphone formation. So
Mm.
anyway, nice trade.
Thank
I
you.
have a ton of it. It's hard to trade physical, but
Yeah,
I
I'm.
can't believe. And you know what? That's why I still have it.
Yeah, but it.
Because if I if it was just a paper position, I wouldn't have it. I mean, I was buying quite a bit at $21.
Yeah, that's
So
nice. Nice.
but I bought it
I
so
don't.
I could buy bread and barter with the silver coins if I
Yeah,
need to.
I moved houses too much, Dale. I can't always transport all that physical,
Yeah, I know.
Too heavy.
It is. You get a hernia moving your silver around. I
Exactly.
ever pick up a silver coin bag? Has all that junk silver in there. It's got to
Okay.
be about 80 pounds or 90
Right.
pounds. Okay, so you
We
doing
got about a
anything
minute and
before
a
it?
half, buddy.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead, take it. Take it, Blake.
Yeah, I'm still. I mean, I haven't. My positions haven't changed much. I've been trading them around, but I still base short dollars.
All right. Well, happy ECB day, guys. We have the ECB rate decision coming out here in just a second. As K-Man was just saying, the ECB is expected to cut rates. Everybody's looking for a rate cut. And if you guys haven't seen it, the euro's extremely well bid. I think the dips below 114 are going to get bought today. If you guys don't know like the major like trend line that is holding it. It's really at the 113.70s, and as long as that holds, that should still be still pretty bullish on any dip. So we'll see if we can get a dip, back below 114. Here is the ECB actually has their decision in about 30 seconds. Now remember, we do have a press conference in about 30 minutes from right now, and Ryan's going to be looking for the tan bed accelerator indicator. So are we looking at a higher tan or a darker tan or lighter tan to give us hawkish or dovish indications here, Ryan?
Hang on.
Here we go.
Cut.
Rate cut.
Cut.
Yep. as
25.
expected, nothing moving
No,
yet.
I haven't seen the statement yet.
There's a pop. There's another pop.
Yeah, euros. I mean, it's bullish. I mean, it's the dollar. You want to play in this dollar bearish. That's why I'm like, I think everybody's just hoping for some sort of dip. I mean,
I think
I
we're
have
going to
been.
get one. I think we're going to get one, Blake.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I've had bids underneath 114 all night. We got to 114.05, which is the 38% retracement. And that's it. It's just been very shallow moves
I
thus
think
far. But
112 is possible.
really?
Yeah.
That's all the way down here. All right. Well, we better have a really good jobs report tomorrow. Like, a blowout, which I don't know if that's really possible, but
Well, Putin retaliation could scare Europe too.
yeah, I mean, I guess we always have to keep that in mind. He's definitely probably is we were talking about this in the chat room. As soon as it was actually over the weekend. Catherine, she's in the UK. She's been in our chat room for, God, since we started Forex Analytix, I think. And, she was asking about, how serious of a response should we get, after the Ukrainian drone strike. And I'm like, it was a clever strike just ahead of the talks on Monday. And Putin's got to be pissed off. I mean, but I don't know. I think it was a clever show of force by Ukraine. So I don't know if it's gonna, since there was no human casualties, I don't know if you're gonna get any, type of big response, militaristic type of response. But he's got to be pissed off because it's embarrassing. So if
It
any,
was billions of dollars of their part of their
oh.
nuclear triad.
Yeah, I mean that lots of money it costs them for sure, but without the human toll, I don't know if you're gonna get any type of real response. But anyway,
I mean, really, they say Russia doesn't want peace, Blake. But I mean, if you're going to have peace talks, I don't think it's conducive to bringing people together to have a big attack before you're going to meet the day before.
oh no,
Just doesn't seem.
That was Ukrainian showing don't mess around. I mean, that's all they were doing.
Well,
They're
it also shows, we don't want peace. I mean,
well,
if they want peace, why hit your adversary right before you're going to negotiate a peace deal?
no, we could go around and around in
Anyway,
this.
that's the way it seemed to me.
Yeah, I think it was more of it was a clever decision on their part. So anyway,
That was clever.
but is it going to elicit response? Maybe. I mean, yes. Could that drive down the euro? Sure. If we see something like that.
Yeah.
But absent that, which we've been waiting for, I mean, for a long time, I guess.
Yeah.
The euro's still shunned, and regardless, people are still trying to sell dollars on any type of bounce. One of the big developments yesterday, in my opinion, and I was telling the chat room yesterday, and Ryan, I don't know where you found your number at 136.50 in the dollar CAD, but you know, I picked up the dollar CAD yesterday at 156.58.
Yeah, that was a shit, Phil.
Yeah, oh, I'm at 136. Sorry, 136. I posted my exit here. Yeah, I guess I put in a really. That's funny. I didn't even notice that. There's typos all over the place. We're usually so busy. We're doing things like that. Anyway, I got out of the loony last night, and I was telling everybody in the general chat room. I'm like, I have no idea why I was buying the dollar CAD yesterday. It was more of a everybody else is buying it. And I'm like, well, I guess, we might, see a little divergence here. Might as well go ahead and buy it. And I picked it up, and I have no idea why I was doing it, because we're really breaking down this big multi-year trend line right here. And frankly, this is one of those that tomorrow I can't see us having a weak U.S. jobs report and a strong Canadian report, but hell, I've seen weirder things on jobs report days. But if that happens, this is one of those that people are just going to let go. And we'll talk about this more tomorrow. I know K-Man's unfortunately not going to be here, but this is going to be one of those situations that after tomorrow's jobs report, you know how, and this happens all the time. You guys know this. It's Friday afternoon. In Europe, it's late afternoon. The markets, everybody's trying to close up shop, and you see just a runaway move on Friday after the jobs report, right? It's like it's one of those nonstop, keep hitting the bid all the way until the close. You just see this drift in one direction or another. This is the trade that we'll see that tomorrow if we have a weak U.S. jobs report and a stronger Canadian report, or maybe a Canadian report that's not so bad. You're going to see this just bleed lower because we're all looking at the same chart, and we're all looking at the same, 4-year, 5-year trend line being broke right now. So everybody's just going to be getting out of this thing at the end of the day tomorrow.
It could happen today. If this 136.50 goes, I think we're down at 136 at the least in a blink.
Yeah, it could happen today, but just think about tomorrow too. I mean,
Yeah.
people are going to be stuck long this thing,
Yeah.
and they are not going to be happy going into the end of the week. This is one that I want us to really focus on tomorrow. Don't worry, we obviously cover non-farm payroll live. We do it every single Friday, every single jobs report for the last 8+ years. So we'll see you guys here tomorrow. I'm just saying this one has to be on the radar. K-Man, I know you're leaving.
Yes,
And
sir.
you're going to be gone. What things did you want to talk about before you're gone for a week?
Well, I'm short, Cat.
Well, I mean, is there anything in particular that you want to discuss? Before you
Well,
leave?
you can look at that 115 in the euro dollar, but then you also have to look at stuff like cable, which is on the approach of 136. That's important.
It's holding its breakout. The
Yeah,
breakout
but
held
I mean that
its.
136 is really there is a bit of a trend line up there, and I think it's really the gateway for move at 137.5, 137.75. If it breaks, Aussie kind of similar thing. If we start to hold 65 figure 15, we could go for a walk. Kiwi, same thing. We are now in that attempt to break above 60, 30, 40. That could, in case of a weaker report tomorrow, make a move up to 61.90, 62.20, 30 perhaps. But all, of course, under the condition that we get a weaker jobs report tomorrow, or at least the hints of a slowing jobs market. We could obviously also have another report that defies the laws of gravity and still come out better. Then I think dollar shorts may again um, be forced to buy back a little, and those levels hold, of course. But we are around or just in front of pretty important levels, and I think is going to be important tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be a huge report tomorrow. Okay, man, we're gonna miss you. I'll come back to you and see what you're looking at for the day here in just a second. Ryan, ECB, anything we should have our ears peeled for today in the press conference?
Well,
I'm expecting them to stay on hold, and they're going to want to pause and see what the fallout is of.
Yeah, they're not going to
right?
pre-commit to anything because they never do. But they could say, in the statement it said, rates are now in the neutral area, so that's their hint that they might stay on hold. But it's all going to be uncertainty. We don't know which way it's going to go. We'll be ready to cut or even hike if the need arises. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to do for the euro. We've had no move over the announcement. The forecasts, they were a little bit soft on the inflation, unchanged on the core. Growth was unchanged, so even they're a bit meh. As I said in my preview tweet, I'm going to be looking for the colour of a tan, whether De Guindos speaks, and whether I can see Michael Brown in the audience.
Oh, yeah, the German reporter Michael Brown.
Yeah, Z. Michael Brown.
One question that's going to be asked as well, because there was this rumor that she could leave early, the ECB to go to the WEF. So that's one of the questions. She probably not going to give an answer to it, or just be evasive or saying like she's not leaving right now. But that's probably one of the questions that's going to be asked.
And also there's gonna be questions about the euro as an alternative to the US dollar. That's been really circling around as well, and she's probably going to be addressing that. I'm sure if there's any decent journalists in the
She
in the
already
room.
did. Huh?
What's that?
She already did, and
Yeah.
Schlegel and Nagel did the same. They said they don't see it as a change of reserve currency, but they are not opposite this. They don't oppose this move. They were actually pretty relaxed with this move. That's, I guess, one of the reasons why the euro keeps being bid as well.
And they're probably gonna ask it again because it's an important and it's a big topic of conversation right now. So that's got to be what you guys are looking out for today during the press conference. Remember, that's in about 20 minutes, guys. So we'll be in the Forex Analytics chat room discussing it and talking about it here in a bit. And I'm a little I want to tell people this is the same thing that I told everybody yesterday. When I got out of my euros yesterday, and it was, up around these levels. It was actually very close to where we're at right now. I got out of my euro longs yesterday. I told everybody in our community, and remember, we do private shows for Forex Analytics subscribers. If you guys aren't subscribed, it's only $1 for 10 days to take a trial. You can be on the show with Steve and I on the Morning Edge here, and in about 45 minutes, and then also we have our daily roundup. I was just telling everybody yesterday, I feel a little naked buying the euro, not owning the euro right now, but you have to get past these events, and the press conference today is going to be a real key one. I think the recipe is there today to trade up, or today for the next couple of days for us to trade up to 116.50. We have a really weak jobs report tomorrow. We have a relatively undovish ECB. That's your term, right, Ryan? Undovish, right?
Yep.
Yep, we have an undovish ECB today. We have a weak jobs report tomorrow. We could be trading at that 116.50. And if you don't know why that's such a big deal, you go all the way back here to November of 2005. That's the low, but notice where it pivots. 2015, 2016. You got 2020, 2021. It's the big breakdown point. We're going to be sitting right back up there with a divergent relative strength. So I can see the reason why we get up to 116.50, it's all, the recipe is there, and it was there yesterday. It's still there today, and it's there for you know tomorrow. But I've told everybody from the last couple of weeks, if we see 116.50, if I'm long euros, going into tomorrow, I will be out of all my euro position just from a technical point of view, out of all euro longs. But there's a difference between being out of the euro and being short the euro. That is not what I want to do. And people have a hard time, especially traders. They have a hard time discriminating between I want to sell the euro and I want to be short the euro. Those are two totally different things. Because I get asked the question all the time. Well, Blake, if you're going to sell your longs, why don't you just get short? And this is a trade that I do not plan on doing, is being long the dollar or short the euro. That is complete opposite, the thesis of mine and probably of the market just in general. So you guys can do whatever you want. I'm just kind of telling you how I feel. Hey, we have just a few seconds. Hold on. So let's pull up the data flash, and let's see what the weekly unemployment claims give us. That's coming out right now. And U.S. trade balance. Here we go. We got the euro right here. Let's see if the jobless claims come in any worse than that 240 level from last week.
247, 247.
Starting to creep up just a little bit.
247, but the unit labor cost for Q1, which is expected higher than expected, but that was also to be expected with all that front running.
But you can see the dollar is actually starting to show some weakness here. That trend is starting to peek its head up like a turtle coming out of its shell. And that's the thing about these weekly unemployment claims. It's our most real-time view on the labor on our labor market. And
Still doing nothing.
I know, Ryan, you're not going to get your feathers ruffled until we see above like 260 or something, but it's still worth noting. And I think the markets,
we've been saying it, markets are ready to hit any bad news, no matter how big, how small it is.
yeah, no one wants to own the dollar. Who the hell wants to own the dollar right now? I mean, seriously.
I'll take $1 million.
All right.
If you give
there
it
you
away,
go. Dale will gladly take $1 million right now.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Hey guys, I know Dale's got his guest. Anas is here. We're always lucky to have his views, especially in the energy market. So make sure you all stick around. But K-Man, you are leaving for a little over a week, I believe. Any last minute words before you start your trek back to the homeland?
No, I mean the same levels. I still think yeah, the overarching theme for now is to sell dollar rallies, and until we get some form of clarity, or until G finally picks up that phone, perhaps.
All right. Well, we'll see if he picks up that phone on Friday. Ryan, any last minute thoughts here?
No, just watch that dollar CAD if you're trading it like us.
Yep. All right. All right, guys. Well, Dale, thank you for your guidance today. Anas is here, so I'm going to pass you over to this fine young gentleman to give his analysis on the energy markets.
Okay, thank you, team. K-Man, safe journey. Okay, and
Thank you, amigo.
Anas El-Haji, I can't turn on YouTube without seeing a video with this guy talking at every money show throughout the universe. This guy is busy. Anas, you're really out there nowadays, guy. Congratulations. People are seeking, good information on the energy markets, and all your hard work seems to be, uh, you know, starting to reward you by the credibility that you always had, but now people are recognizing it more than ever.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, top of mind, where do you want to start today? I know that your tweets that I see, you're a bull in energy. I mean, fundamentally, last time you and I talked, you were talking about electricity shortages even happening in, I don't know, what was it, Dubai or Qatar having blackouts, and that it's
Kuwait.
only Kuwait, and that it's only going to get worse, and we're going to have trouble this summer in the U.S. as well. So where is your focus, on supply, demand, or geopolitics right now?
Before we do that, let me tell you a true story, and I want to build on it.
Okay.
In my previous life, I was working with some people who are important in OPEC and OPEC Plus. And there was a meeting scheduled between two energy ministers. Both countries were or are still basically OPEC Plus members. And the meeting was canceled at the last moment. So there was no meeting. Yet, a well known journalist was tweeting about what's going on in the meeting and what those two ministers are talking about.
Huh. How could that, because he had to
And
provide
the
content.
meeting never happened. The meeting
Right.
never happened. Okay. And the issue here is we got to be extremely careful with what the media is feeding us, what the social media is feeding us. And I am saying this because the number of bearish stories that are coming out at certain times of the day make us question certain journalists certain media outlets, and whether they are being paid to publish such stories, because every single story that being published about OPEC delegates saying something about the next meeting was fake news.
Wow.
The news that there was a dispute in the last meeting is fake news. The news that they were talking about the level of output in July was fake news, because they haven't even met to discuss it. And yet they were talking about, they discussed this and they discussed this. They want to add this, and now they are talking about Saudi Arabia wants to keep increasing production at a very high rate, while there was no discussion. There were no meetings.
Okay.
So from where this news is coming out?
So psychologically, they want to put a lid on the oil prices. I mean, there probably are some suspects that want to
Absolutely.
keep
And
a
that
lid on
news,
it.
I can tell you without any reservation that the news about United Arab Emirates leaving OPEC or increasing production is paid, is literally paid.
Okay. All right.
So
So
the
we're
advice to everyone here is, please be very careful with all these media stories, especially coming out of Bloomberg and Reuters. And when it comes to oil, please ignore the Wall Street Journal.
Okay. Besides ignoring the Wall Street Journal, and I was taught to fade them. You talk about things being pegged on this. Look at this range. I mean, it's from early May. We've had this $3 range, and do these news stories come up? Was this one where it spiked above it? And every time it gets above 63, we get some type of negative or maybe more supply coming on market type of story, uh, because this is not bad action. It's just pausing and looking for a catalyst. I think we're going to break out over 63.
Well, let me
Do you have a view on that?
explain one issue that is very important. The group of 8 in OPEC Plus decided to unwind the voluntary cuts. So they did raise the production ceiling, and please everyone notice that I said ceiling, because increasing production is one thing, increasing production ceiling is another. They increased production ceiling in April by 138,000 barrels a day. Then they decided to accelerate production, so they increased it by 411 in May, then 411 in June, then 411 in July. So we are talking about an addition of almost 1.4 million barrels a day. The market took that negatively, and some people were talking about prices, WTI prices declining to $40.
That
We
story's
published
been out
several.
there a long. $40 has been out there for a while, based upon economic weakness and supply, and you can't find an oil bull anywhere, Anas. You and
Well,
me
you
are.
have one. You have one on your show right now.
Well, you have one talking to you.
All right. So here is the issue. Yes, we do have an increase in production ceiling by almost 1.4 million barrels a day. We published several reports basically telling clients, look, this is not bearish. And we've been proven to be correct on this one, because prices went up instead of going down. So what's been going on? What analysts missed? What bank analysts missed in this case? Here is what they missed. First of all, they missed the fact that oil consumption in the oil producing countries increases substantially in the summer months between May and September. So most of that production, the real production, will go to domestic use, and the world will see very little of it.
Okay.
Number two, they forgot that we have the Hajj in Saudi Arabia right now. The Hajj is the pilgrimage where millions of Muslims from around the world go to Saudi Arabia at this time of the year, and that increases consumption of gasoline diesel, jet fuel, and fuel oil. You end up with hundreds of thousands of hotel rooms that need to be literally cooled 24/7.
Right.
So imagine the energy consumption and the oil part of that. They ignored that too. Just to give you the magnitude of this, in a regular summer in the region, the domestic demand in the region increases by about 1.2 million barrels a day. That's almost what the production ceiling increase is.
Okay.
So there is no reason to be bearish. But
so they're only
ignored other
bringing up
factors.
supply, not demand. In all of the
Correct.
stories, it's all about supply, not demand.
Correct, but there are other parts on the supply side they ignored. The supply of Venezuela decreased drastically in the last 2 months. And
Why?
so what well, mostly because President Trump imposed 25% tariff on countries that import Venezuelan crude.
Okay,
So
that's a good
we've
reason.
seen the Chinese and the Indians basically going and searching for oil somewhere else. So some of that crude coming from the group of 8 is going to compensate for the decline in Venezuela. But here is the big story, and here's the shocker. In May, when this group added an additional 411,000 barrels a day to the production ceiling, above the 138, in May, the exports of the United States, Brazil, Venezuela, and Ecuador declined by 977,000 barrels a day, almost a million. We lost almost a million.
It's a lot. Why in the
So
U.S.
why
is
we have to be
production?
bearish?
Yeah, why in the U.S. is production falling? I know they're
Well, it's not. These are exports, so this is just to be clear.
exports.
These are
Okay.
exports. And what
Okay.
matters to the international market are the exports, not the production.
Okay. All right.
So the idea here is you look at all those factors, and even if you believe that Iran's exports are declining, I don't believe it personally, but the same media outlets are talking about the decline in Iran's exports. Even if you believe in that, then what they are adding is merely a compensation, and there is no reason to be bearish.
Okay. How about
So-
what's happening? Go ahead. Go ahead, Anas.
So the bottom line here is we have an issue with this increase later on, not now. This summer, basically, consumption is higher. We are coming into the driving season, etc., etc. But what will happen in the fourth quarter, and the first quarter of next year, if we don't have a pickup in growth, in economic growth in the United States, Europe, and China and India? That's where the negative impact of this increase is. If we don't see a change in the tariff policies, a change in the trade wars, then we got to worry about oil prices in the first quarter of 2026 because of those increases.
Okay.
But not now.
Okay. Anything, oil's fungible. Could what's happening in Russia and Ukraine be affecting Russian production?
No, no, not yet. What we've seen, and we know that the media a couple of days ago said oil prices went up. I think that was on Wednesday, Tuesday. Oil prices went up because of the attack on Russia, on the Russian airports. That's nonsense. Here is why it is nonsense. First, the increase in WTI was way higher than the increase in Brent. So if it was the attack, the increase in Brent should be higher. And then natural gas prices in the United States went up by 6%. Now explain that.
Yeah.
The stock market went up that day in the United States. So in a sense, those increases in the United States were part of the general sentiment. It has nothing to do with the attack on the Russian airports. The last point is it does not make sense to attack a Russian airport and oil prices go up by 4%. And if you add
it's not an oil facility. It's
not only that, it is higher than the day Israel attacked Iran.
Okay. Yeah.
So that
Which
does
would
not
be
make
more.
sense.
Yeah. So you went there, President Trump trying to put a deal together. What do you think is going on there? And do you think that, President Trump would love to win the Nobel Peace Prize. You know, everyone
20
has
years
a goal.
ago, 20 years ago, and people can search this on the web, I've written an article. I think it's been translated to about 10 languages at that time, and it is still on the web. The title of it is something like the nuclear program, or the nuclear energy crisis, or the Iranian nuclear never-ending crisis.
Yeah, never ending.
Never ending. And anyone who think that we will reach a deal, they really need to study hard. And the reason why, because Trump cannot deliver what the Iranian regime wants, and the Iranian regime cannot deliver what Trump and Israel wants.
So where do we go?
No deal.
No deal.
So the job,
go ahead.
Not the status quo, it's even worse. The job of the regime right now, it is very clear. And we have a long time experience with this. They always drag their feet on any negotiations.
Yeah.
Always. This became the customary thing. We've seen it so many times. And the objective is, even if they lose Lebanon, even if they lose Syria, even if they lose Yemen, even if they lose Iraq, even if they got hit, they are not going to go for war. And the reason why, because their objective is to get the bomb, the nuclear bomb. Right. Because the moment they get it, everything will change.
How do you know you know they don't have it in us?
I don't think they have it at this stage, because we can tell from their behavior.
I mean, for years we've been hearing stories, oh, they're 4 months away from breakout. I mean, for years the breakout was around the corner.
Yes, but think about it this way. There are groups and countries that are making money out of those claims.
Okay, everything's about money.
Correct. But for the Iranians, basically, the way they look at it is, if I go for war today to defend myself, or to defend Lebanon, or to defend Syria, then I'm going to be 20, 30, 40 years behind on the nuclear bomb. So I would rather just bite the bullet, wait, drag those negotiations until I get the nuclear bomb. Because once they get it, the whole thing is going to change. And even the tone and the term of negotiations is going to change. So their objective basically is to drag on those negotiations as long as they can.
How far away do you think they are before they come out and say?
I don't know. This is I have no. Like you said, you know, they've been talking about this for a very long time. We know that they've been very devious on many things. The way they operated in Lebanon, the way they operated in Syria, Yemen, etc. Those guys cannot be trusted. And the reason why I say this, because they killed so many people in the region. And they claim to be an Islamic regime, and they killed Muslims. So how you are going to trust them, even for Trump?
So how can Israel,
them if they were killing?
Okay, so are they? So Israel's not going to just stand by until they have the bomb.
Well, it's really catch-22 for everyone. Here is why: because there is no guarantee that they will hit certain targets, and those targets are really where the nuclear materials are. So you go ahead, and now you are subject to retaliation. The whole region, if you talk about Kuwait, you talk about Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Oman, none of them wants an attack on Iran. And the reason why, it's very logical. They say, look, you, the United States, or basically, you can leave the area at any time and leave me alone with those guys. Those guys are my neighbors. They are with me forever. So I don't want you to cause problems in the area, and then you leave me with them, and they can attack me tomorrow, and you leave. And we've seen this before. And we've seen the attacks on Aramco in 2019, when we lost 5.5 million barrels a day. So the Saudis basically are saying, look, I don't want you to attack them. I want you to solve the problem, but I don't want you to attack them, because I know when you attack them, after a while you are going to leave and leave me with them.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Saudi Arabia is not looking for support to become a nuclear power.
Well, the Saudis have already said, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman already said that If Iran is going to have the bomb, we will have the bomb.
Okay. Okay. So basically, the way it's going to play out is nothing's going to happen. One day, Iran's going to announce that they've broken through, and they have a nuke, and that's just the brave new world we're in. Is that the way you see it?
That's possible. That's really the most likely scenario.
Okay. Anything that you see as far as maybe hurricane season coming up here for disruptions that could?
Yes,
They're looking for a bad one.
We have a serious problem in Europe, and again we go back to the media and politicians here and all the stories they make out. What Europe did basically is it did shoot itself in the foot for a very long time, which means that the pain is going to stay there for a very long time. They claim that they are no longer depending on Russia, or their dependence on Russia decreased substantially. When it comes to energy security and national security, it does not make any difference when you switch your imports from one country to another. The risk is still the same.
Okay.
And what they've done basically is they switched their dependence on natural gas from Russia to the US and Norway.
Right.
Why this is a serious problem? Because Norway is very well known for labor strikes. We end up with 2-3 labor strikes every year. So when you have labor strikes in Norway, what will Europe do? And then we have the hurricanes in the United States. And if we have a bad hurricane season and we have destruction to facilities or even delays, what would Europe do? From where they are going to get the gas? There is no replacement. No one has extra gas to supply Europe. So they just switch from Russia to other places, and they sanction themselves instead of sanctioning Russia. Yesterday in the Daily Energy Report, basically, we explained that the decline in Russian revenues from oil and gas has nothing to do, literally has nothing to do with sanctions or the price cap. The decline is literally related to decline in prices, which was about like 23%, and the rest basically are decline because of maintenance on one side and the recurring attacks on refineries on the other, but has nothing to do with sanctions and the price cap. And the irony here is the EU just imposed the 17th round of sanctions, 17th. So the 16 rounds of sanctions failed. Why do you think number 17 is going to work? And number 17 is funny because in 17, they are sanctioning ghost tankers.
Oh, yes.
How you punish a ghost?
I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to watch Casper the Friendly Ghost. I never wanted to punish him. Anyway, yeah. How do you find the ghost ships out there anyway? And so how many out there do you think Russia's running?
Well, I mean, there are hundreds. Definitely, there are probably over 500 oil tankers out there.
Right.
There are ghost tankers, and no one has control of them. And the irony here is, if the EU is worried about climate change, they should literally stop sanctioning these things. And the reason why, because when you impose more sanctions, what you are doing is a tanker that should have been decommissioned 3 years ago.
Yeah, they put it out there.
Basically, is still in service.
Okay. All right. So here we are. We're heading into the summer. You have any price forecasts you want to share about, or you want to
Not
give us
really.
a range?
Just the expectation is that prices will be a little bit higher than what they are today. We've done some scenarios, and we find out that without those negative stories and negative sentiment in the market, oil prices would have been higher by $3 to $5 than what we see today. So the negative sentiment is, by the way, it's not coming out of the tariffs and the trade war. This is literally a speculation thing that, again, I seriously think that those journalists are getting paid for those stories because they are fake stories.
Any narrative that could take WTI up to, say, initially maybe 68 and then more extreme 78? Can you think of any narrative that would drive prices to those
Not in
levels?
2025.
Okay. All right, I'll get out of my options. Anas,
Will I get a commission?
start a brokerage firm. I'll trade through you. So I mean, here he is, Anas El-Haji. I know you guys know Anas. He's been coming here for years. You could go to YouTube. He's all over the place. In fact, if you want to meet him, I think you're going to another money show in Las Vegas, aren't you, buddy?
Yes, in July.
Upcoming. Okay. So, I mean, that's a chance to meet Anas, and you're going to find his work everywhere.
And those interested, by the way, I did put in my pinned tweet, I put a link to the presentation that the last presentation we had here in Dallas. And
Okay.
I can assure you and I can assure everyone that they will like it.
Okay. Well, Anas El-Haji, always
Thank
great
you.
talking to you. I apologize for the interruptions. I just get so hyped up when you're here, and I have a narrow
Thank you.
position.
No problem at all.
All right, and really look forward to talking to you later in the summer, see how things played out. And as far as I'm concerned, people that deal with you, it's like hitting a gusher.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to mention that tomorrow is the Eid, that's the biggest holiday for Muslims. So most people are busy with this. So we are not going to see any comments or anything from ministers in the region simply because it's a whole week holiday. So I just want people to be aware of that.
All right. Inshallah, Anas.
Inshallah. Have a great day.
All right. Anas El-Haji, you can find him on X at Anas El-Haji. Go to his website, check him out as a speaker. See him live in Vegas coming up in July. And that's a wrap. Thank you very much, Anas. Appreciate you being
Thank you.
here
Have a
and
great
giving
day.
your time. And everyone else, you could join the team in about 16 minutes on the Morning Edge. And I hope everyone has a good day trading the market. Good luck. And tomorrow's really the big day. We'll see everyone. Let's trade the NFP live together and react to the reaction. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. You're welcome, Lorena, George. Where can we turn in for authentic news on oil? ForexAnalytix, George. You already know you're here. Seeing